You're tuning in to the Goldilocks presentation of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with Anthony Rodriguez. Anthony Rodriguez, aka Walking Crow, found transformational energy healing through a personal search into healing, was transformed by this experience. He made the decision to pursue training and has since become a certified energy healing practitioner with an emphasis on working with clients in recovery from addiction. His willingness to be open and listen has allowed him to be of service to many who seek a peaceful, serene, and healthier body, mind, and spirit. Call in now if you would like to speak with Anthony. The call-in number is 713-955-0332. Enjoy this transformational and healing show.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome to another Tuesday edition of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and I am your host. And I want to welcome you to another beautiful Tuesday. Wow, you know what? The weather here in Los Angeles is just spectacular. And I'm looking out the window of the studio, and I can see the San Gabriel Mountains, and I can see trees and birds and florals and fauna. And man, I'm just excited today. Just excited. And I'm really excited about the subject matter today of what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about the fifth chakra, expression, epiglottis, expressing yourself, not expressing yourself enough, holding your voice and holding your tongue and leaving it in your head, and not expressing yourself in the way that you should. Or do you express yourself through using a pen, using a paintbrush, using a microphone, using an instrument, using a sketch pad, using a keyboard, using your phone, using a camera? How do you express yourself, and do you? This is about opening yourself up to your voice, to your feelings, to the things that you hide out about in your head. And what we're going to help you do today is come out of your head and come into your voice and come into your heart and come into the fire, your fuego, I can, I will, I do, aho, your self-esteem of who you are, and connect to others and connect to self and be grounded and rooted and fruited and be the tree that doesn't get knocked down by the four winds. Aho, that's a recurring theme throughout my radio show and throughout everything that I do in life. Aho, be rooted and fruited. And a lot of times the biggest block, I would say 95% of the blocks in the body or the imbalance starts at the voice, at the fifth chakra, at the throat, at the epiglottis. When we're told as children to be quiet, children should be seen and not heard. What are you talking about? Oh, don't be so crazy. Or you're ashamed so much that you no longer want to speak, or sometimes you talk too much because you were never heard. Aho, what is it with you? What is your case? And what is it you want to talk about? Aho. Aho. 713-955-0332 is a call-in number. Please call in. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of listeners today. I just got an email the other day from one of my followers and clients in Vancouver, Samantha, and she listened. Her and her boyfriend listened to the show, and she said that she told me she was listening. I'm excited that I'm be doing a Skype session with her in a couple of weeks or so, and I'm just excited to talk to her and see how she's doing. Anyway, so 713-955-0332 is the calling number. Push one to get out of listen mode. That'll tell our producer that you want to have a conversation with me, you want to talk to me. All right. Wow. Also want to give you my information for my website. It is sacreddrum24.weebly.com, or my email address is anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com, and you can reach me in my office at area code 818-442-1717 if you want to have an extended conversation, or you want to set up a 20-minute consultation, or if you want to just go to my website and look at my events page and look at the pictures and look and see what exactly I do as an energy healer and how I can help you, either with the energy healing or the shamanic drumming or whatever it is you need. Well, all right. Again, welcome to Tuesday, and we're talking about the fifth chakra expression. What is it that you say? What is it you don't say? How was it that you expressed yourself? And do you express yourself? And I'm always asking that question. And I have to tell you, as a child, I was always told to be quiet. I was a child. I was always told to go to my room, to shut up, to all those ways of speaking to people that are unflattering and unkind. And that's the way I was talked to. I was hit. I was slapped, and I was told that I was a lousy kid, basically, you know. And I want to thank all those people, and I want to thank them and say, you know what? Thank you for saying those things to me, because those people are the reason that I have this show. Oh, aside from my beautiful producer, Tiffany White, they're the reason that I have this show, that I speak, that I use my voice, that I speak from my fifth chakra, and I am unblocked. I am not in my head. I am not manifesting disease in my body and in my soul. I have something to say, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it the way I say it, not the way I'm told to say it. I am not censored. I will not be censored, and I will not censor myself to bow to somebody else. That part of my life was done a long time ago. I stand in my root. I stand in my power. I stand in my connection to self and others, and I speak my mind and I speak my truth. What is your truth? And I want to say thank you to those people for telling me to be quiet, because this is what I do, whether it's on the YouTube channel, whether it's on Blog Talk Radio, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's an email, whether I'm teaching a class or pounding the drum. I stand in my voice, and I am who I say I am, because I am the I am. Aho, Mitakiyasu. Aho. I'm on fire today. I'm feeling good. My life has shifted. I've had some things happen in my life. Moved out of my home. Yesterday was the last day in my home. And it's a good thing, you know. It's just a good thing. And moving forward in life and looking forward to a bright future and to a new day. Aho, what is your new day? Are you looking to a bright future, or are you living in the past? Are you living in the past where the things that happened to you and the things that were said to you and the things that were done to you are blocking you from moving forward, are blocking you from being a well-rooted tree, are blocking you from having self-esteem? Are you still living in the story of the past? I will say to you, tell your story. Write it down. Go and tell. That's what the Bible says about the Jesus consciousness, the Christ consciousness. Write it down. Go and tell. The more you write it down, the more you tell your story in a good way and you embrace it and let it go, the more you will manifest goodness in your life. What do you want to manifest in your life? I will ask you that question. I will ask you that question over and over. Wow. Welcome again. The Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. Today we're going to transform. We're going to transform. We're going to transcend. We're going to transition. We're going to transmute. But we will not be muted. We will not be muted. We will transmute, but not be muted. All right. What is it that you want today? What is it that you have to say to your partner? What is it that you've been saying too much of? You know, sometimes we spin and spin and spin, and we talk about the things that happen, and we never get better, and we never move forward, and we live in the past, and you know, and that's no way to live. Living in the past is no way to live. Living in the present, right here, right now, removing the anxiety from your life and saying, "This is what I want. This is who I am. Can you help me? Will you love me? I need you." Those are the things we want to say, and it's so difficult to say it sometimes. Ahoo. 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 Yes. You know, it's interesting. The things that come out of our mouth, I say, are just as important as the things that go into our mouth. What is it we're going to feed ourselves? What kind of words are we going to feed ourselves? And what kind of words are we going to allow others to feed us? Because there's ways, I refuse to be talked to in particular ways nowadays. You know, there's some ways that if you start to get nasty with me, we're not going to have a conversation. And I'm going to let you know it. You can go somewhere else with that until that part of your life changes, because I'm not going to jump into the fray with you. I refuse. I don't have to. I'm too important, and so are you. I'm too important to get into arguments and fights with you over things that don't matter, over things that just don't matter and that separate us and keep us separate and keep us apart. I've had enough of that in my life, and I don't have time for it. What are the things that you want for your life? Do you want happiness? Do you want joy? Do you want kindness? Do you want to be nurtured? Do you want gifts? Do you want to give a gift? Do you want to sing a song? Do you want your voice to be heard? Aho. And if you do it. Don't wait. Don't wait for anything to come your way. Don't wait for the right time or the right place or the right energy or the right situation. There'll never be the right place or the right time or the right situation. Speak your mind. Say what you got to say. You know, take the marbles out of your mouth and put them in your pockets. You know, take them out of your mouth and put them in your pockets and speak your words clearly. You know, I have a bit of a stammer sometimes, and when I'm speaking, I make mistakes and I stutter. And you know what? I'm not ashamed of it. I'm okay with that. I have something to say, and I'm going to say it. And if I make a mistake like now, I will correct it. And you will understand that I'm just human. Hi, human. You know, hi, human. And I welcome you to your humanness. Whoa, it's starting to stick in my throat. Wow, what a thing, huh? So, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day where you're going to start and you're going to learn to speak your truth. What is your truth? What is it you have to say? What is it you want to say? This isn't a session for cheering on people. This isn't a rah-rah session or to pump you up. I am not a motivational speaker. I see motivational speakers on social media, and they don't really have anything to say, but they're always asking questions, you know, about what is it you like or what is it you want to do, but they don't have really anything to offer you. This is about offering you your voice back. This is about offering you back. What is it that you want? How is it that you want to get there? What is the vehicle you want to use? Do you want to sing a song? Sing a song. Aho. Aho. And there are those who sing their songs and use their words, but they're not telling their truth. They're parroting sometimes. And they're speaking other people's words. They're speaking the words of their parents. They're speaking the words of a broken culture. They're speaking the words that don't work. You know, I was always, as a kid, in trouble. And in Spanish, there's a saying, and I was always told that I was mal criado. I was poorly, badly made, badly created. And I have to tell you, you know, people give up their responsibility when they say things like that to a child, because a child doesn't raise himself. The child doesn't create himself. The child doesn't teach himself until the child becomes teachable. The child learns who and what he is or she is by listening to what other people say to him, by what he's taught or she's taught by others. Aho mitakiase. The child does not create themselves. The child eventually grows up, and if the child comes into his consciousness and awareness, that child, me, eventually recreates themselves and refuses to stand in that darkness, in that poor light, in that dimly lit area where they, in the corner where they make you stand when they say that you're a bad child or a bad kid or you're mal criado. I was never mal criado. And if I was mal criado and that's what you say to me, you need to take responsibility for your lack of action, your lack of love, your lack of care, your lack of nurturing the child that you brought into this world. I'm talking to a whole lot of parents from the 60s right now, from the 70s, from the 50s. You know, I'm talking to a whole lot of you, and I hope you're listening because, you know, I'm on the tail end of the baby boomers. I was born in 61, so I'm the tail end. And, you know, they had some funny ideas about raising kids. And there's a lot of people who write books on raising kids, but they don't live in my house. They don't live in your house, and they don't know what the F they're talking about. You know, they speak to you from their head. They don't speak to you from their heart. They speak to you. They speak to you from your thinking, from their thinking. They speak to you from their theory and all that head-based crap, and they never go into their body and their emotion and their feeling to be with their children. And there was a whole lot of us that were raised that way, you know, a whole lot of us. And I thank the people that raised me, by the way. I'm not holding their feet to the fire. They did the best they could with what they had. And I have to say that too. I have to speak that too and admit that too. Aho, even though they called me malcriado. They dangled a carrot of good intention in front of me. And they pulled it away when they saw or thought that I was a failure. That's no way to raise a child. That's no way to give a child a voice. That's no way to be with somebody. Aho. You know, I was talking to somebody earlier. I'm going over to a drum with a 7-year-old who claims to be Sitting Bull, and I believe him to be, I hope. And, you know, he got in trouble for yelling at his parent. He got in trouble for yelling at his teachers. Fact of the matter is, I was told by his mother that he's, you know, being bullied at school and nobody's doing anything about it. You know, and chances are there's a bully in the family, and it isn't his mother, and the poor kid's got, you know, an uphill battle. Well, I'm going to go see that kid today, and I'm going to go drum with him, and I'm going to go be with him, and I'm going to support him, and I'm going to love him the way he deserves to be loved, and he needs to be loved, and the way I wanted to be loved, and the way that I wanted to be supported, because he deserves that, and I deserve that too. And he mirrors me as I was when I was a child. So that's where I'm going when I'm done with this show. What are you going to do for yourself? What are you going to do for your stress? What are you going to do for your anxiety? What are you going to do about the things that you don't do anything about, that you only talk about, that you only think about? I have to tell you something. Saying is not doing. Thinking is not doing. Doing is doing. And when are you going to start doing something about your life? About the blockages in your voice, about the blockages that you hide behind up in your head, and you don't come into your heart, you don't come into your fire, you don't come into your fuego, your connection to others, your root. You don't come up into your knowing or into your higher self, your spirit, into the 7th chakra. Aho. When? And I will ask you again, when? I am here now, right here, right now. I do not suffer from anxiety. Aho. I have this platform where I speak. And is anybody listening? I don't know. I don't know if they're listening. I don't know if they're listening until they tell me. Or if I look at analytics, then I know if they're listening. But when I'm doing my show, I'm not concerned about who's listening or the analytics or the numbers, because it doesn't matter. If my voice is going to be heard, my voice is going to be heard. Aho, because I stand in my voice. I stand in my power. I stand in who it is that I am. Aho. And I don't wait for somebody to speak for me. I don't wait for somebody else to put words in my mouth, thoughts in my head. I don't. I had enough of that as a child, and I stand in my power as Anthony J. Rodriguez, walking crow, a whole new stuff. Now, speaking of walking crow, later this month on the 27th of April is the 1-year anniversary of when I stepped through the veil. When my teacher, Crow Mother, Emma Molina Iniquez, gave me my name. And I stood before my friends, teachers, shamans, masters and shamans, and friends and people who didn't know me. And they came into the room and they celebrated with me as I came into that name, as I came into being Walking Crow. I have always been Walking Crow. But it became an anointing on that day, and I stepped through the veil. And it was probably one of the most magnificent days of my life. Stand in your voice. Stand in who you are. Stand in what it is that you want. Stand in your medicine. What is your medicine? Call me and tell me about it. 713-955-0332. Aho, aho, aho. Oh, boy. So, I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about an event that's coming up, and on the 21st of May, it's the Monrovia Alternative Healing and Artisans Fair. at the Hands to Health Wellness Center at 122 East Walnut Avenue, Suite C, Monrovia, California, 91016. It's going to be a magnificent day of healing. It's going to be a magnificent day of family fun. Bring the kids. We're going to have people who are doing energy healing, Reiki healing. We're going to have sound healers. We're going to have massage, essential oils. We're going to have people who are doing hypnosis. We are going to be having organic foods, people who make candles, people who make soaps, people who work with oils, people who work with music, people who are psychics, mediums, organic juices, crystals, card readers, and artists. And join us. It's going to be May 21st. It's a Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's just going to be a magnificent day. So put that on your calendar. Come out and see us and join us for just a fun day. You know, come and get your healing on. You know what I mean? So, and if you're a vendor and if you're a healer and you want to be a part of that and you want to share in the fun and you're looking for new clients or you're looking to share the gifts that you do, please feel free to send me an email at Anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com. And I can send you a registration form. It's $65 for a space. That's a pretty cheap, low cost for doing that. And, introduce yourself to the community. And this event is about creating community. I am about creating community, and community is what we do. That is how we heal. We come into the circle of community, we come into the hub and the spokes, and we look across the spokes at each other into the hub, and we share with each other, and we are with each other. So join us on May 21st. Well, all right, let's go back to the subject at hand, which is the fifth chakra. And, it's interesting. Dog medicine is loyalty. And dogs are either irritating people with their bark, wish that dog would be quiet, or people are saying to a dog, speak. I wish man would make up his mind, but man is so confused that, he doesn't understand that the dog is loyalty. Dog is symbolic for loyalty, and dog is always there for you. Dog is always there for me. Whenever I see a dog when I'm out on my morning walk, I greet that dog as a little one. Hello, little one, I say, and I let him hear my voice. And he doesn't even have to hear my voice. He feels me coming a feet away. I don't care if it's 50 feet away or 100 feet away. That dog knows that I'm coming because I carry that kind of energy, and I live in my energy, and I stand in my energy, and my voice doesn't have to make sound to be heard. Does yours? Does your voice have to be making sound to be heard? Is your voice heard? Do you hear your voice? Are you in your voice and in the voice and asking for help? Are you in your voice or not in your voice of trying to find a way through life? Are you finding a way through life, and are you asking for the things that you want? Do you ask for the things you want? There's so much life out there to ask for. There's so much life. And I'm learning that now. I had to let go of some things to gain some. I had to let go and to come into my power totally again. And one of the things that I've learned over the last year or so is I'm never going to give up my power again. Because sometimes, even though we know what we know, we do what we do because we want what we want. And sometimes the things that we want aren't good for us, and we want them anyways. And shame on me. But I'm not going to live in that shame for you. I hope. 713-955-0332 is a call-in number. Give us a call if you want to share something, if you want to ask a question, if you want a healing, if you want a chakra reading. What is it that we can help you with today? How can we help you come into your voice? How can we help you come into your words? How can we help you come into your expression, your epiglottis, your voice box, your shoulders, your biceps, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers. Those are part of the expression. Those are part of the voice. Those are the silent parts that aren't heard, but they are in action. And if you want to speak your mind and speak your voice, and you don't want to speak out loud, love is an action, and love yourself and do it silently and write. Do it silently and paint, or do it out loud and sing a song, play an instrument, say something, be heard, whistle. It's an expression. It's an expression of love and of joy, and it's an expression of self-love when you use your voice, when you stand in your voice and you speak your mind and you speak your peace. Speaking my peace has given me something. And I have this quote that we use all the time. And it's, the peace in me is the peace in me. You know, and I got that peace, and I achieved that peace by saying what I had to say, by letting people know when my feelings were hurt. When I let somebody know that I didn't understand, or maybe I was misunderstood, or maybe I upset somebody with my words, and I had to go back and backtrack and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And it's okay. It's okay to go back. It's okay to say I'm sorry. You know, it's okay to make amends. It's okay to stand in your voice and say, I was wrong. I don't know who teaches people that it's not okay to be wrong. But there's people out there, and you see it all day long in the political system over this last couple of years. People telling the truth about their lives and living in their lives and trying to make their lives into the truth that isn't. Because the truth is the truth. The truth is truth. The truth comes from a place of love. It doesn't come from a place of lying, of darkness, and hiding, and deceit. All right, we have a caller calling in from the 562. And hello, caller. Are you there?
Aloha.
Aloha.
How are you?
I'm doing good. For everybody, this is Alma. She's calling in from Maui, and she's calling from the 562, and the 562 is in LA, so I always know who that is when they're calling in before I hear their voice. So, Alma, welcome to the show today, and welcome to the
Thank
fifth
you.
chakra.
Thank you. Well, I felt like I have been stepping into that more. And I'm going to cry.
It's okay.
But also by doing so, I feel like I'm hurting people. So it's kind of a confusing thing.
Yeah. Some people don't understand when you're standing in your voice, when you're standing in your power. I have a mom, we all have a mom, and she's the one who would call me my...
That's exactly who I feel right now. All this.
Oh, yeah. I didn't raise you to be that way. Yes, you did. or wait a minute. I didn't raise you to be like that. I know exactly. That's why I'm like that now. I had to learn how to come into my voice. Right?
Right. And I think what it is I feel her fear as I speak, and I speak my truth. I feel her fears. And obviously then, because that's what I realize now, literally from birth, I've always felt her fear. And so I grew up with fear. So in my face, and that's part of why I had to remove myself from there. And I didn't know that until recently that was kind of the correlation of it all. And now that I'm actually, taking another huge step, it kind of brings me all back to it again. And it's bringing up for both of us, I guess. And I've explained to her that what I'm doing is not only for myself, but I don't know how to help her understand, or if she ever will. But then that brings it, inadvertently, without trying, it obviously brings fear. Even though I don't feel it, but then it brings doubt, if anything. So because what I'm going to be doing in the next week, basically, is it's just something, a huge leap of faith. And I understand
Yep.
it's a huge leap of faith. And if you had asked me this probably 2 years ago, I would have not understood any of it. Understand where she's at, but I don't know how to explain that to her any further. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
It's interesting. The thing about the understanding with her is she may not ever understand. That's the good and the bad news. That she may not ever understand. We need to understand, what we're doing and why. And we don't always have to explain ourselves, no matter how they react. It's okay to stand in your power. And sometimes we have to stand alone in our power and know that when you stand alone in your power, you're not alone. There's always somebody else there with you. I think it's been a year ago, almost a year, that you and I met, and I support you totally 100%. I stand next to you. I will stand behind you and support you, and I will stand in front of you and pull you along when you need that to be pulled along as well. Aho. And you're not alone just with me. There's myriads of others that support you. There's the Marsh Engels of the world. There's the others that you work with there on the island, that support you, that understand. They're the Me Too's of your life.
Yeah, I guess it's having to try to then get it. So, I think somehow we're always wanting that support from that one person. I think that's probably, and I think that's where right now it's just like, I feel like I'm just hitting a wall. And it's just, I've taken this step, and I understand there is a lot of, in the real world, there's a lot of, on paper it doesn't make sense. But I know that by stepping through this door next week, it's going to. But right now, it just doesn't. And I think it's that's causing just this big old, I can just feel this wall right now.
Yeah. And, sometimes that wall is silent, and sometimes that wall is awfully noisy, like a big old subwoofer.
Right.
And they both feel the same.
True.
Whether somebody's saying it to you or whether they're giving you the silent treatment, it both feels the same. And it's like, oh, well, it's got nothing to do with me. It's not my fear. It's not my life. Mine's moving forward. Mine's, stepping into who I am and what I want. Because, just because they didn't do anything for themselves doesn't mean that you can't, And sometimes people live in the shame of the things they didn't do, and they put that on us because they don't know how to be with that, And that's okay too. So, So, by the way, you're going to Spain.
Yes. I leave next Thursday from LAX.
Oh, see, that's expression right there.
I'm going to be in LA. Actually, I fly in next Tuesday. I've got a couple of things I need to take care of, and then I fly out on Thursday.
All right.
Scary, huh? Huge. It varies, because I've never flown anywhere other than here. And so, and the flying part isn't what that doesn't, the flying, that's nothing. That doesn't faze me. People go, oh, you're going over. Yeah. To me, the day my day is going to be my day. I'm going to be where I'm going to be. I can be in bed and it's still my day. I'm not worried about that part. It's just it's a whole adventure that I've never done anything like this by myself. So that in itself it's exciting to know what I'm going for. It's more than just it's not a vacation, even though I'm going to a beautiful island. I'm going from one island to another. I'm actually going to Mallorca, and I'm going to go do some work. And I feel like it's all the work that I've been doing since I got to Maui. So it's been a year and a half of work that I've laid the foundation for. And to go step through the door is what I feel like is what I'm doing now. To go and see what, I know that doesn't make sense in a lot of ways.
Can you do me a huge favor?
Yes.
I would like the listeners to know, Alma, how you came to be on that island of Maui and why you went there. Can you share that with us, with the listeners?
Yeah, of course. I think I always wanted to live here. I've been coming to Maui for over 20 years, and I said I wanted to move here one day. It was my refuge when my husband passed away in 2011. I came here for a vacation. I realized I wanted to move here, but then I would have been running at that time. And then in 2015, I got to the point where I was actually done with life because of everything that had happened. I couldn't see the light anymore. And I prayed because I have 2 kids, 2 boys that I love. And I said, there needs to be more. Came that it was time for me to move to Maui. And that was taking that leap of faith at that time. And I did. I came for a month to see the possibility, and Mother Maui welcomed me with open arms. I mean, I found a job right away. I found a house right away. I met friends. I mean, getting off the plane. It was amazing to come here and feel what I felt here in Maui. And, I mean, being here has been amazing in itself. I mean, besides the island being beautiful, it's the people I have met and what I have been. It's kind of been like a stage of cocooning, basically, is what I could call it right now. And looking back right now, I could call it, this has been a cocoon stage this last this year and a half that I've been here right now. And and that's where I feel that, going to Spain is going to be the merging of it all.
All right.
Yeah, I feel the place, I can't even think back to where I was, when I was ready, last August. I think it was in 2015 when I was just done with life. I don't even know what that feels like anymore. I'm not going to say days aren't easy. There's still days of sadness. I still miss my husband, but it's not the same anymore. It's no longer there's no darkness anymore. I mean, that's probably, there's light around me everywhere. And, and that, I think, is the biggest key for me, that I've seen it as a purpose for what happened, and I think that's the biggest part, because a lot of times things happen and we go, why? And at the moment, we won't ever get the answer, but it starts to unfold, and I feel like it's to where I am today. Otherwise, I would have not been able to have gotten where I am.
All right. That's awesome stuff.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. This is truly a glorious day, and I'm glad it was you that called in today. I love your story. And I get to follow it now. And I get to support you. I get to support you now. Just like I said, I will stand next to you, I will stand behind you, and I will stand in front of you and pull you along when you pull me along. Because I know you do that for me too. From 3,000 miles away, you do that for me, and I know it. And that's the beautiful thing about this kind of work, about finally coming into your root, finally standing up like a tree and branching out, branching out into the universe and allowing the birds of the air to nest in your branches, and allowing the birds of the air to nest in your branches and eat of your fruits. Literally,
figuratively, as I sit here and look out at the trees right outside my windows and hear and see the birds out there, just
right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's such a beautiful metaphor for the way life is, and the way, if we allow ourselves to be that, if we allow ourselves to speak that, if we express it and step into that and move into that, back into who we are supposed to be, not shut down by the domestication of others, the culture of others, the frigidity and the shame and the frightened experience of others is not ours to carry and bear.
Oh, yes. And that's what I was feeling today. I felt it so strong that, that maybe I was making a mistake, and it was all her fears.
Yeah.
And, her fear is so strong that I feel it here. And
Yeah. So I want to do something. I want to welcome you. And I want to welcome you to this place. And you know what this place is called?
I'm trying to blank right now.
This place is called Alma, soul. Alma is your name, and it means soul. And I want to welcome you to this place. This place of your voice, this place of your name, this place of your soul, this place of your being, coming out of the darkness of the thinking and into the light of the soul of your body. Alma, I want to welcome you to Alma. Oh. You have given yourself, you have given yourself the greatest gift one could give themselves. Is selflessness. Selflessness as opposed to selfishness. You know? And people share selfishness when they don't allow you to be in yourself, in your place of selflessness. And that is my work. I know that is your work too, bringing people into the place of selflessness and allowing them to give themselves whatever it is they want, whatever their heart has always desired, and no matter what life you've been living in. Let this be the life that you give yourself. That. You know, Mother Teresa, when she was in Calcutta, and people would interview her and they would ask her, why do you work with these people? They're the worst of the worst. They're pure poverty. They're sick and they're diseased. And she said, when I see these people, I see Jesus. And it wasn't, that statement, I don't believe, was about Jesus. Well, it was to her. But for me, that statement is about the humanity. She sees the humanity in other people and lives in that humanity. And I get to live in that humanity and share my humanity with you, and you share your humanity with me. And life just turns beautiful and gets beautiful knowing that somebody supports me, somebody loves me regardless of who I was or what they say I was or what I've been. Oh,
exactly. Oh, yes.
And it's
yes.
Awesome.
So it is.
It's
yeah.
Awesome. Woo! This is the goodness today. Whew.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Right. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to do this with me right now. I want you to put your feet flat on the floor, or if you're standing up, to stand still. Let your hands fall to the side. And I want you to take a breath. And I want you to take the breath. When I tell you to take the breath in, and I want you to take it through your heart space, through your lungs, through your air. I love, I'm love. And right down into your third chakra, the place of the fire. And I want you to breathe and allow that energy, that oxygen to oxygenate that fire and let it glow while you're on the radio with me, and allow that fire to grow. And then it's going to heat up that water of the second chakra, chakra connection, element water, and allow that water to bubble and blow, and allow that steam to rise to your third chakra and to your heart, and then to your voice, to clear out that blockage in the voice, and up, and allows you. Your heart is warmed and your voice is open and you are clear in the head. Go ahead and take that breath right now. Inhale. Allow that fire to grow. And exhale. And one more time, Mama. Take it real deep. And as that fire grows, that water in the second chakra is bubbling and boiling over, and boiling over into the root chakra, and watering it, nurturing it, and exhale. And release spirit. And you become more grounded. And one last time, take a deep breath. Allow that fire to grow. That fire, that fuego. I can, I will, I do, I am. And exhale. What a powerful way to come into and clear the voice through the fire and the breath and the water and the elements of the world and the life of the things that make us up, a whole. And sometimes we forget that those things, that we're made of water. We're made of fire. We're made of air. We're made. Wow, what an amazing experience. Alma, thank you for calling in today. You just, wow, just really took us to a place today of gratitude. You know?
Yeah.
And I want to remind the listeners that gratitude is a daily investment. That's another Anthony quote. That's another Walking Crow quote. Gratitude is a daily investment. And I have to tell you, on social media, I watch people quote other people all day long. They quote Rumi. They quote, all kinds. They quote the Bible. They quote all kinds of things. But Anthony quotes himself because I got stuff to say because I was told to be quiet, and I have something to say. In my 12-step program, there was another gentleman by the name of Tony, as a matter of fact, and he said, one day he said, I don't know anything. I don't have anything to say. And I said, I beg to differ. I do. I have something to say. And I'm going to stand in my voice and I'm going to say it and I'm going to give it because I was told to be silent and I am silent no more. Aho. Aho. And I want to thank you for Aho. I want to thank you for picking up your phone today and not being silent and calling in and sharing with me today, with us, the listeners, with our producer, with everybody who's listening, because I know that there's people in Vancouver hearing your voice. There's people in Warsaw, Poland hearing your voice. There's people across the country who listen to my show who are hearing your voice. And they needed to hear your story. I needed to be reminded of your story. And sometimes when we're telling our story, we need to be reminded of our story. Yeah. To remind ourselves who we are and what we want to give ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you listening.
Oh yeah, I'm sending you big hugs and sending you hugs and kisses and big energies your way. And just know that when you get on that plane next week, you're not going alone. We are going with you, and everybody on that plane is going with you too.
Yes, I look forward to it. Everyone joining me there. Thank you.
Well, and by the way, before the plane takes off, when they're doing their little stick on, if the pressure drops in the cabin and the masks fall, put the masks on yourself first. You'll remember me. You'll think of me. You'll just start laughing when they start doing it. All right, you. Thanks for calling in,
Thank
beautiful.
You. Wow.
You have a good day.
You
all right.
as well. Aloha.
Aloha. Mahalo. 713-955-0332. What a beautiful and wondrous experience that I get to speak to people all over the world when I'm already speaking to people all over the world. What joy does that bring my heart? What joy does that bring my soul? What joy does that bring my voice that sings? Aho mitaki yase. Every cry is a song. Every song is a prayer. Let all our prayers now be heard. Fill the air, fill the air, fill the air. Aho. That is a verse from a song by the Hot House Flowers. They're a group from Dublin. And when I heard that loud and clear. Every cry is a song. Every song is a prayer. Let all our prayers now be heard. Fill the air. Fill the air. Fill the air. What is it you have to say? What is it you want to hear? What is it that you want to tap into? A hole that you haven't been able to tap into for a lifetime. Have you lived a lifetime of shut-ups? Have you lived a lifetime of be quiet? Have you lived a lifetime of never mind, go away, leave me alone? Have you? Have you? Have you? I have, and I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do that anymore. 713-955-0332. Give me a call and let me know what yours are. Reach out to me at Anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com for a 20-minute consultation or a long-distance healing, or to come into my office and get a healing, or set up a drum healing where we clear your chakras and we align with that 27-inch big chakra powwow drum, Aho, that allows you to open up and be who you are, that takes you to the spirit world and allows you to connect with your spirit guide, your spirit animal, your voice, your spirit warrior, Aho, Creator, Great Spirit, Aho. What is it you want to say? What is it you want to hear? What is it you want to do? Are you tired of being sick and tired? Do you want to transform and transcend and transition and transmute from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body? Alma just called in to talk about that. She has transcended. She has transmuted. She has transitioned. She has transformed. And she stepped out on her own when everybody was afraid for her. What are you going to do? You know, I drove across this beautiful country twice in my life. Once going to Tennessee and once coming back. And people were like, well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to drive across country. Aren't you afraid? No. Why should I be afraid? What's there to be afraid of? I don't live in your fear. You're afraid. You know, when I was, I used to go to Colombia. I was married to a woman from Colombia. And I would go there. And in Bogota, it's at 8,000 feet and altitude. And you get there and it's cloudy. It's kind of like, I guess, Seattle. You know, everybody wears a sweater. Everybody wears a coat. Everybody's cold all the time. And I get off the plane and it's 62 degrees. And I'm like, oh, what nice weather. Like, aren't you cold? I said, no, you're cold. And they would look at me like I'm crazy. Because I wasn't cold. They were cool. You're going to get sick. No, I'm not going to get sick. You're going to get sick. Don't sell me poison. Don't give me poison. Tell me something good. Shaka Khan, tell me something good. Shaka Khan, tell me something good. If there was a bottle in front of you and it said poison, would you drink it? So why would you listen to words that aren't yours, that speak to what it is you don't want, what you don't feel? Aho, aho, aho. And I said Shaka Khan. Tell me something good. That was probably one of the first songs I heard by her. Shaka Khan speaks her mind, speaks her soul, speaks from her heart, through her voice, through her fifth chakra. Tell me something good. Aho. Wow. Wow. That was given to me. Creator just downloaded that to me just as a reminder. Just as a reminder. How will you stand in your root? How will you stand in who you are, in your fire, in your fuego, in your connection to others, connection to self, and love yourself and sing out loud, sing your voice. Karen Carpenter, sing out proud. Aho, Karen Carpenter. Aho. This show is on fire today because I have something to say. I've been given freedom. I have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. I have transformed from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body and voice. Aho. I have come into my root. I have come into my connection. I have come into my fire. I have come into my love. I have come into my voice. I have come into the knowing that I know that I absolutely know. And I have come into my spirit, the universe, through God, through everything that is good and big and awesome. Aho. Aho. I have to laugh and share this with you. My producer just let me know that Chaka Khan is now Chakra Khan. That is very funny. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. Thank you, Tiffany, for sharing that with me. You just made my day. Wow. That's twice today Tiffany White has made my day. Tiffany White stage with me. Aho, and honor you, Tiffany. And by the way, Tiffany, thank you for letting me do what I do on Blog Talk Radio. Thank you for allowing me to have my voice and giving me permission when I didn't need permission to speak, and just allowing me to expand my voice in a different way, in a different format, in a different social media. How do you want to be heard? How do you want to be heard? Do you type in caps, all caps, because you think that you have to yell? I don't. A long time ago, I learned to type in lowercase letters because I thought it was cool. I didn't have to yell. I didn't have to yell. There's people, every time I look at social media, there's always somebody who's typing in capital letters, and you know who doesn't have a voice. You know who was diminished as a child. You know who doesn't stand in the root, who doesn't stand in the fire, who doesn't stand in the connection, doesn't stand in the love, doesn't stand in the voice. Aho. They overexpress. They overexpress and they say, I don't care what other people think. Yes, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't type in caps. Anyways, 713-955-0332 is the calling number. And I want to remind everybody this Sunday, April 9th, I'm going to be holding Transformational Sacred Drum Bath Journey at Hands to Health on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. And it's going to be just a morning of drumming and journeying and being in our soul, in our bodies, and being with spirit, you know. And if you want to come, you can go to the Facebook page for that particular event. And it starts from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And it's $10. And you can click on PayPal me, and you can pay prepay, or you can pay when you come. But please come. And if you don't have the money, come anyways. We're not going to turn anybody away. Everybody needs to have the medicine available to them. You know, and there's some places in 12-step program in Alcoholics Anonymous, sometimes we say for free and for fun. Freely we give. Not everybody has money, but there's always balance when you create balance for people, and you allow them to come and stay, even if they don't have, because not everybody has. Just because they're the haves doesn't mean we have to have the have-nots, because the have-nots can have too if we allow and we share what our gifts are and give to them freely we give. Aho! You heard my voice say that. I remember times when I couldn't do something, I couldn't go someplace because I didn't have money. You know, so I understand and step in and step out and show up and come and be with us on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Aho. What is it you want to say, and how do you want to come into your voice? Can you come into your voice? Do you come into your voice, or do you remain silent and muted? Muted. I am no longer muted. I am no longer a mute. Nobody has cut out my tongue. I have lots to say, and I'm going to help you say what you feel you have to say, like my friend Alma just said when she called in. And I want to remind you that alma, the word alma, is Spanish for soul. Soul. Alma. Come into your soul. Come into your alma. Come into your voice. Say what you have to say. Speak your mind. Reach out to me. Let me know if you need help. 818-442-1717 is my office number. Anthony at sacreddrummedicine.com is my email. Reach out to me and let me know if I can help you. sacreddrum24.weebly.com is my web address, is my website. It's my temporary website, and you can go there and find out what exactly I do and how I can help you, and you can reach out to me from that website. Aho. I want to remind you that my name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, the Talking Crow. Both. And this is the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. And this show was not just created for me. This show was created for you to help yourself come into a place of being, come into your place of light, come into your soul, come into who it is you are and who you were always meant to be. I want to thank my lovely producer, Tiffany White, Sage Woman, from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to have my voice in this place of blog talk radio on Goldilocks Productions. Aho. Thank you for coming to this Tuesday edition of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. Aho.